Hello future nurses, Miraki. I am Nurse Don and welcome to microbiology class. In this video, we'll be discussing about the difference between a gram-positive and a gram-negative bacteria. We'll be talking about the difference in terms of their cellular layers, their cell wall composition, and how gram stain works, and of course their pathogenicity. Why does the name gram-positive and gram-negative pertaining to actually staining? Remember, it was discovered by a Danish bacteriologist under the name of Hans Christian Joachim Gram. Obviously, he is a Danish bacteriologist, Danish physician. He actually used the stain used is crystal violet or Jensen violet and is called as gram stain. The procedure is called as gram staining. What is the difference between a gram-positive and a gram-negative bacteria? The difference between gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. First, a gram-positive bacteria is a bacteria that retain the color of crystal violet even after alcohol treatment. I'll repeat, gram-positive bacteria, it retains the color of crystal violet even after alcohol treatment. While a gram-negative bacteria is a bacteria that lose the color of a crystal violet on alcohol treatment. That is the first difference between a gram-negative and a gram-positive. Bacteria that retain the color, retain the color of crystal violet even after alcohol treatment, that is gram-positive. Okay? You see this? This is the alcohol treatment is a critical step in gram staining. Alcohol treatment is a critical step in gram staining. Differential staining is due to the difference in cell wall composition of a gram-positive and a gram-negative. So, what is again the difference? First difference, ayan. Okay, as you can see, in the case of gram-positive bacteria, it retains actually the color of a crystal violet. It retains the color of a crystal violet. While your gram-negative there, kikita nyo naman yan, while your gram-negative is a bacteria that loses the color of a crystal violet on alcohol treatment. Again, differential staining is due to the difference in cell wall composition of gram-positive and your gram-negative. Now, second difference of your gram-positive and gram-negative is in terms of their cell wall layers. What about the difference in their cell wall layers? As you can see, guys, in the case of a gram-positive bacteria, outside of the plasma membrane, ayan, this is your plasma membrane, the color green one, and then the color sky blue, that is your perisplasmic space, that is the space between your plasma membrane, between the peptidoglycan and your plasma membrane. Color green is plasma membrane, the space between the outer layer, that is your perisplasmic space. Okay, take a look on the gram-positive. The gram-positive bacteria outside of the plasma membrane, okay, that is the color brown, indigo color. Okay, there is a thick layer. This is a thick layer called your peptidoglycan. While in gram-negative, okay, while in your gram-negative bacteria, ayan, okay, that is a plasma membrane. Okay, ito yung outer space, outside of the plasma membrane rather, there's a thick layer. This is the thick layer, that is your peptidoglycan wall. While in gram-negative, okay, while in gram-negative bacteria, on the outside of the plasma membrane, you can see there's a thin layer of a peptidoglycan wall. There's a thin layer of peptidoglycan wall. There's a thin layer of your peptidoglycan wall, and commonly the outer membrane composed of your lipopolysaccharides and your protein. That is the difference between gram-negative and positive in terms of their cell wall layer. So that is the second difference between gram-positive and your gram-negative. Okay, third. Okay, number 3. What is the difference? Okay, in terms of their cell wall compositions. Difference in terms of their cell wall composition. In the case of gram-positive bacteria, the cell wall composition, peptidoglycan wall, is very thick. Ayan. Look at the image. Okay? Yan. Okay? The characteristic of a gram-positive, obviously this is a cell, this is the cell membrane peptidoglycan. In gram-positive bacteria, the cell wall composition, peptidoglycan, this one, okay, peptidoglycan wall is very thick. Okay, it is obviously very thick, and in gram-positive, it composed of a thioic acid. Okay, thioic acid is present. While in gram-negative bacteria, peptidoglycan is very thin. Okay, peptidoglycan is very thin. That is in gram-negative bacteria. In gram-negative bacteria, look at this. The peptidoglycan is very thin. This is very thick, obviously. Ito, okay, very thin, manipis siya. That is the outer membrane, which is made up of, okay, outer membrane, made up of LPS, that is your lipopolysaccharide, and your surface proteins. So, lipid content is high in gram-negative, and teichoic acid is absent. So, that is the difference, okay, of gram-negative and gram-positive in terms of their cell wall composition. Okay? Other difference between gram-negative and gram-positive. Other difference in terms of gram-negative is how the stain works. Okay? How the stain works. That's the difference. Okay? When gram staining procedure, gram-positive, as you can see, adding crystal violet, okay, adding crystal violet turns what color? Violet. That is for gram-positive. While in gram-negative bacteria, adding crystal violet also turns violet. That is the first step. Okay, adding of your crystal violet. That's it. Okay, there you have it. Adding crystal violet turns violet. Adding crystal violet in gram-negative turns violet. Ayan, kita niyo naman yung color natin. It turns into violet. Okay, turns into violet. So that's the first step, adding crystal violet. Now, what would be the second step? The second step, class, is the addition of an iodine solution. Iodine solution, which is your mordant. And you know that mordant is a substance which will form a bridge between the cell and the initial stain, so that the cell that is being studied will better retain the stain. There are two types of your mordant. It either be physical or chemical. If we say physical, it includes your heat or cold. While chemical mordant, okay, such as iodine, for ferrous sulfate, or your tannic acid, and etc. That is a mordant. So the first step is adding crystal violet. Gram-positive turns violet. Gram-negative turns violet also. Second step is the addition of iodine solution mordant. This mordant again will help effective staining. So it becomes more stained on the addition of your iodine. Okay, let's take a look on the image. Second step, first step is adding crystal violet. Second step is your addition of your iodine. Yes, ayun, addition of your iodine. More than that will help effective staining. Okay, there you go. And then your step number 3, which is the most critical step, is the addition of your alcohol. Okay, as you can see it on the image, addition of your alcohol. Okay, that is the critical step, addition of your alcohol. Upon alcohol treatment, okay, in the case of gram-positive bacteria, it remains violet as the stain tightly bound to the peptidoglycan. Why is it so? Because alcohol cannot dissolve it. Okay, because in the first place, alcohol cannot dissolve the peptidoglycan. Okay, because of its characteristic, it is actually what? The wall is very thick and teichoic acid is present. While in the case of a gram-negative class, gram-negative bacteria, okay, on addition of alcohol, once na nilagyan mo ng alcohol yan, once the stain is bound to the lipopolysaccharides, lipopolysaccharides or your LPS layer, on addition of alcohol, ang mangyayari dyan, madi-dissolve yan. Therefore, gram-negative bacteria, nawawala yung color of crystal violet. Okay, in gram